Hey, what's up? What's up? Joe in Vegas back with another review. Sammy Hagar, the king. Sammy announced his tour. I saw him a few years ago. He played at the Stratosphere. He did a bunch of nights at the Stratosphere. He has this like all-star band that he kind of put together over the years. I think they're all good friends. I think they love playing with each other. I know they do. You can see that they do. He's got Michael Anthony from Van Halen, Jason Bonham on drums, and then the other piece, I forgot the names of the guys he had in his other band, but for this tour he brought on Joe Satriani, which was an unbelievable move. I mean, the guy, he's probably as close as we'll ever get to Eddie. But I remember going to the last shows. I think I went to two of them, and one of the biggest complaints, and I think a complaint a lot of people have when they see Sammy, is he only does like one or two, maybe three Van Halen songs. He likes to stick to his own catalog, which is great on its own. And he's got his stuff and stuff from Montrose, and you could see that Van Halen is. He makes it clear that it's part of his life. It's a huge part of his life, but it doesn't define him as an artist. It's just a chapter. It's the biggest chapter, probably, for sure. But he really goes out of his way. So I remember at the time, I wasn't upset because I remember liking the show, but I remember I just wish he played more Van Halen. So I heard on this tour, they came out and they made it a point to say, hey, we're going to play mostly Van Halen songs this tour, which I thought was awesome. And I know everybody agrees with me because the last few times I saw Sammy, one time was like at the pool at the old Hard Rock Hotel, and then it was like at a little room at the Stratosphere. And now that he's playing Van Halen stuff, he sold out the whole 18,000 person arena at MGM. So you could see the demand for Van Halen is still very strong, which is great. I love it. So let's start with Loverboy opened up. Honestly, I missed half the set. I got stuck at a blackjack table. It happens. I didn't win either, which sucks. I walked in the middle, but they did 8 songs. Notorious, Lucky Ones, Queen of the Broken Hearts, The Kid is Hot Tonight, loving every minute of it. I came in during that. Hot Girls in Love, Turn Me Loose, Working for the Weekend. They're good. They're just good. I don't know. I can't leave that much of a review on them. They're exactly what you think they are. He looks funny, the guy. He looks like us. Like he's not trying to hide his age or his weight or anything like that. He doesn't give a fuck. He's just out there singing, but they sound good, and they got a bunch of good hits from back in that era. So good opening act. They're fun. I like them. Then came out Sammy. They started at 8:30, I think, on the dot, and he went to 10:30, which is pretty fucking incredible. I got it. I think he's 75. Let me see. I want to Google that quickly. 76. Wow. So Sammy is, I don't know if it's just he's a poster child for a life of tequila and living on a beach and rock and roll. The guy looks fucking great. He doesn't look 76. He doesn't look tired. Neither does Michael Anthony. None of those guys look tired and old. I really believe it's that rock and roll diet of just a lifestyle of rock and roll. I'm sure they'll disagree, and I'm sure they're exhausted off stage and everything hurts. You know, I always say, like, we sit in the crowd and we're like, God, these guys are getting so old. Meanwhile, we're sitting down every third song because everything fucking hurts. So it works both ways, but they look great. Sammy sounds like, I don't know how his voice is held up. I don't know how he does it. It's really something amazing. So let's get into the set list because I loved it. I thought the set list was great. I did think, based off of everything I heard and read, that it was all Van Halen, but he mixed in enough of it, some of his stuff, a good amount of his stuff, for something that was billed as a Van Halen tour, and left off some pretty big Van Halen songs. I don't know if it's that he just can't sing them every night. Like Dreams is so high, and Love Walks In, he didn't sing that. Finish What You Started, he could have sang that, but I don't know. I guess he can't get them all, but it's good. His songs are great. I don't mind hearing them. Good Enough, Pound Cake, Run Around. Love that song. There's Only One Way to Rock, Judgment Day. Then these was cool. I didn't expect him to do any Roth. You know, everybody knows there's that big argument. Which Van Halen is better? Is it better with David Lee Roth? Is it better with Sammy Hagar? My opinion is it's almost like you have to treat it like two bands because everything changed. David Lee Roth was more fun, party, 80s, up all night, rock and roll, get laid, get drunk. Sammy felt more rich and mature, and it's almost two different bands. I'm really 50-50. It depends what kind of mood I'm in. I feel like I aged along with them. So when I was younger, I liked Roth for sure more. But as I got older, I started to like and appreciate the Sammy stuff and the emotional stuff behind it, and the emotion that his voice brings out so much emotion. It's awesome. He could sing a phone book and you'll be crying at the end of it and texting every old girlfriend you ever had. So anyway, he sang a couple old Van Halen songs. He sang Panama, which I love. That's probably my favorite Van Halen song from either chapter. And hearing Sammy sing it was a treat. He did 5150. I love it. Summer Nights. I mean, in these songs specifically, Satriani, man. You hear these legendary guys, Satriani, Steve Vai, and you don't believe it until you see it, how really different and good they are. They're like, you have a task of, okay, we're going to go on tour and we're going to play old Van Halen stuff. Who the fuck is going to play Eddie Van Halen's parts? I mean, who can? Maybe Wolfgang can do it. I don't know. But who can do it at that level? And they brought on Satriani, and he just killed it. You could see they're all in awe of him. Even Sammy just stares at him the whole night like, wow. But he was a great addition to this, really like completed the band. I wish Alex Van Halen would get his shit together because, Bonham's great. I love him too, so nothing wrong with that. But, they'd be pretty close to having an original band if Alex would play drums. But anyway, 5150, Summer Nights. Ain't Talking About Love. Michael Anthony sang on that. His voice also. I don't know how these guys do it. He's also old. He's got to be 70s also. Let me look at him. I'm kind of curious now too. Michael Anthony. Anthony. 70 years old. It's really fucking incredible. I am 48 and I feel like I can't even move, so I don't even know how these guys do it. All right, so he did Ain't Talking About Love. Michael Anthony sang it. They did Top of the World, great song. Best of Both Worlds, and they cut in a little bit of a celebration by Kool and the Gang in the middle of that. Satch Boogie, which is a Satriani song. They did The Seventh Seal, which I was surprised. Right Now, their big classic with Sammy. Why Can't This Be Love, another monster. Then he did Eagles Fly, which is his song. Mas Tequila, which is always a fun. That's his lifestyle in a nutshell, Heavy Metal, Sammy song. I Can't Drive 55. So this is all Sammy's throwing his stuff in there, which again was great. Then he did some Montreux, Space Station Number 5. He did some what's it called? Chickenfoot, Bigfoot, and he did Jump, which I was surprised too. Another David Lee Roth song, and then they closed out with When It's Love, which is probably definitely my favorite with Sammy. I remember just being a kid, and that video came out, was such a big deal. There was like this mature Van Halen. They were wearing these suits, and it was so good. The background vocals on that, Michael Anthony going, I'm not going to sing it for you, but anyway, that's the show. Loved it. As always, just being a spoiled little brat, I wish there were a couple more Van Halen songs thrown in there, but can't ask for better. It was 2 hours of amazing energy. The crowd was pumped. Everybody was great. You can't ask for a better rock and roll show. 9.35 out of 10 all day long. Ticket prices, another one. Again, I got to get into it. I should have said it earlier. I've watched them all week. They were pretty fucking expensive also. They were sold out pretty quickly. The resale market, they were going for $250, $300 for good seats. I wasn't going to go. I was on the fence, but I trusted the process. And on the day of the show, that morning, Ticketmaster, or it was Access. It was Access. Access, whatever you pronounce it. They started releasing a couple full rows. I don't know how that works. Personally, I think when a band comes to town, they ask the venue for, let's say, 30 or 40 or 50 tickets. And then they have all their friends and families and loved ones that want them. They dish them out to those, and they end up paying for those. I think the ones that they don't use, they have up until a certain point to tell the venue that, okay, we asked 50, we only used 20 of them, here's 30 back. And I think the venues put those out. If anybody knows this for sure, confirm, because I'm curious. The venue then throws them back on sale, because I see the day of the show a lot of like full rows coming up. So that's what happened. A full row showed up. Excellent seats. Section 9, row M. I paid face was $159 plus fucking fees, so it was like $180 something. But I was very happy. Our seats were excellent. The whole row was empty. It was awesome. Thank you for listening. If you were there, comment. If you've ever seen Sammy, comment, subscribe, and I will see you at the next show. Bye-bye.